28 years ago, a brutal crime unfolded in the heart of New York City, leaving a lasting scar on the city's psyche. This event became widely known as the Central Park slaying. At the center of this tragedy were two teenagers, Daphne Abdela and Christopher Vasquez. They were just 15 years old at the time. The victim was 44-year-old Michael McMorrow. His life was violently taken in Central Park in 1997. The crime was characterized by extreme brutality. McMorrow was stabbed over 30 times. Following the attack, his body was mutilated. The perpetrators then attempted to conceal their actions. The victim's body was ultimately dumped into a lake within Central Park. This act added another layer of horror to the crime. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Daphne Abdela came from a background of significant privilege. She was the daughter of wealthy parents, Angelo and Catherine Abdela. Daphne had been adopted as an infant. She grew up in a luxurious apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Despite her privileged upbringing, Abdela had a troubled history. She was known for a belligerent attitude. Her behavioral issues led to her being kicked out of multiple schools. This pattern of difficulty marked her adolescence. In contrast, Christopher Vasquez came from a less affluent background. He was raised in East Harlem. Vasquez lived with his single mother. His upbringing was starkly different from Abdela's. He was described as introverted. Vasquez struggled socially and dealt with agoraphobia. Despite their disparate backgrounds, Abdela and Vasquez formed an unlikely bond in 1997. They connected in the months leading up to the crime. Their shared interest in rollerblading brought them together. This seemingly innocent activity became the backdrop for their fateful meeting. On the evening of May 22, 1997, Abdela and Vasquez were rollerblading. They were spending time together in Central Park. While in the park, they encountered Michael McMorrow. He was with a group of people who were drinking. The two teenagers joined the group. They also began drinking alcohol with them. As the evening progressed, Abdela and Vasquez separated from the larger group. They lured Michael McMorrow away. This decision set the stage for the horrific events that followed. They moved to a more secluded area of the park. In the early hours of May 23, 1997, a fatal attack occurred. Michael McMorrow was brutally assaulted. He was stabbed over 30 times. The violence inflicted upon him was extreme. Following the stabbing, his body was mutilated. The details of this act were particularly gruesome. The perpetrators then attempted to dispose of the body. They dumped it into the Central Park lake. Hours later, on the morning of May 23, 1997, McMorrow's body was discovered. Its presence in the lake alerted authorities. The discovery initiated a major investigation. Police began searching for those responsible. Following the discovery of the body, Abdela and Vasquez were quickly apprehended. Their behavior drew suspicion. They were initially found together. They were bathing in a utility room within Abdela's apartment building. Abdela herself called 911. She reported seeing a body in the park lake. During initial questioning, Abdela attempted to shift blame. She claimed Vasquez was responsible. Abdela alleged that Vasquez had acted erratically. She attributed his behavior to taking LSD. However, Abdela also made admissions. She admitted helping to try and cover up the killing. This included admitting involvement in gutting the body. She also admitted helping to sink it in the lake. Christopher Vasquez was subsequently arrested. He was taken into custody at his apartment. Daphne Abdela was also arrested shortly after. Both teenagers were now in police custody. The initial investigation began to piece together the events. The contrasting stories and evidence were examined. Abdela and Vasquez were initially charged with serious crimes. They pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and robbery. As the case progressed, they faced mounting evidence. The prosecution built a strong case against them. Crucial evidence was found in Abdela's room. This included bloody clothing. Additional evidence was discovered in Vasquez's room. A knife was found there. The knife bore DNA from both Christopher Vasquez and the victim, Michael McMorrow. This was a significant piece of forensic evidence. Faced with the evidence, Daphne Abdela eventually changed her plea. In March 1998, she pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. This plea agreement reduced the potential sentence she faced. It acknowledged her role in the killing. Abdela received a sentence of 39 months to 10 years. The sentence reflected her age and the plea deal. Christopher Vasquez's case proceeded to trial. His lawyer attempted to place primary blame on Abdela during the proceedings. Despite this defense strategy, Vasquez was found guilty. In November 1998, he was convicted of first-degree manslaughter. Vasquez received a sentence similar to Abdela's. He was also sentenced to 39 months to 10 years. The legal proceedings concluded with both teenagers convicted of manslaughter. The focus then shifted to their incarceration. Both Daphne Abdela and Christopher Vasquez were sent to prison. They began serving their sentences. They were ultimately released from prison in January 2007. Both had served 6 years of their maximum 10-year sentence. However, Abdela's freedom proved to be short-lived. She quickly violated the terms of her parole. The violation involved an assault. She assaulted a resident at a halfway house where she was staying. As a result of the parole violation, Abdela was reincarcerated. She was sent back to prison. She ultimately served a longer total time behind bars. Abdela served a total of 9 years for the crime. Vasquez, in contrast, did not violate his parole. He remained free after his initial release. Since their respective releases, both Daphne Abdela and Christopher Vasquez have attempted to live private lives. They have largely stayed out of the public eye. Information about Abdela's life post-release is scarce. Reports indicate she was involved in a car accident in 2009. She has remained largely out of the news. Abdela was reportedly last seen publicly in April 2024. Christopher Vasquez took steps towards rehabilitation while incarcerated. He completed an alcohol abuse program. He also pursued educational goals in prison. Vasquez earned his high school diploma while serving his sentence. Since his release, Vasquez has reportedly remained out of legal trouble. He has avoided further arrests or convictions. According to reports, Vasquez now resides in the Bronx. He has established a life away from the spotlight. Vasquez has expressed a clear desire to be left alone. He wishes to put the past behind him. Both individuals carry the weight of their actions. Their lives continue under the shadow of the Central Park slaying. The case of the Central Park slaying remains a stark reminder. It highlights the devastating consequences of the actions taken by 2 teenagers that night. The brutal crime had an enduring impact. It deeply affected the victim's family, who lost a loved one. The event also left a mark on the community. It served as a chilling reminder of the potential for violence, even in seemingly safe public spaces like Central Park. The story of Daphne Abdela and Christopher Vasquez is a complex one. It involves privilege, troubled youth, and a horrific act with lasting repercussions for all involved.